Right. My AI just changed. It just buzzed the front gate.
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back to my channel. If you're not, it is your girl Thetorrancemarchil, and today we're making some anti-inflammatory vegetable soup. Y'all, this soup is so good, and I literally make it all the time when I really don't know what to eat for dinner. So right here, I'm just showing you all the ingredients that I'm using: mushrooms, broccoli, peppers, tomatoes, red onion, I think yellow onion, cabbage, red potatoes, and green beans. Also, you see here, I'm using olive oil, complete seasoning, vegetable seasoning, adobo, pepper, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and I'm gonna use a garlic salt too. So here we're just washing the produce. I'm just cutting the broccoli, like the part I want to eat, off of the broccoli crown, because we don't eat the stem. If you eat the stem, that's cool. I don't typically eat the stem. I just cut off the little heads, and that's that. Okay, so we're throwing some peppers in there and some tomatoes, and we're going to wash that off. Now, some of these vegetables were already pre-washed, but I'm just going to re-wash them just to ensure that they are clean. I did thoroughly wash these veggies. I just didn't want to put all that in here, because then you'd be watching me wash veggies for like minutes. I put some red potatoes in there, and I'm gonna wash those too. I'm getting the pot ready, putting in some olive oil just to kind of heat the pan. I like to kind of wake up the seasonings and the vegetables before I add the stock or water. I do typically use water, just because stock is not something I keep in my house often, to be honest with you. So water works just fine as long as you season it well. So right here, I'm just cutting up my vegetables. So I'm cutting up the yellow onion. I'm pretty sure this is a yellow onion. Any onion will work. Just use whatever onion you want. I'm cutting up some fresh garlic, and I use 4 cloves of that. And this is really the base of a really good soup. Many recipes, honestly, like most good recipes start with onion, garlic, maybe some peppers, things like that. But this is really an easy meal to make. And we just happen to have a lot of vegetables in the fridge, and I'm really the only one eating them. So I wanted to cook them up so that they didn't go bad and I had good use for them. And I'm also cutting the vegetables pretty big. I like my vegetable soup to have big, hearty chunks of vegetables. It just makes it a little bit more filling. And I like the mouth feeling it gives me as well. So yeah. Now I'm cutting up the peppers. You do also see some spinach off on the side and some mushrooms, and I'm going to throw mushrooms in there. I don't really like mushrooms, but I like the benefits that it gives you for health. So if you're like me and don't really like mushrooms, but or any vegetable really, but you really want to get the nutrients in, just throw them in like a soup or some kind of sauce base, so that you don't even know that it's in there, but you're still reaping the benefits of it. But yeah, you see the spinach on the side, and I'm not putting the spinach in until the soup is done cooking, but it's still hot, because I don't want to cook the spinach down to nothing. I want it to kind of just wilt down a little bit and kind of get married into the soup with all the other vegetables, but I do not want it to disintegrate. So that's off on the side just for when the soup is ready. I'm cutting up some tomatoes and I'm putting that first batch of vegetables in and kind of just giving it a little stir. And I'm cutting up the mushrooms and the broccoli now. I really wish I had like shiitake mushrooms instead, but this is what I have. And you know, something that would be really good too for like extra iodine is like some kelp. That would be really good in this as well. So if you have kelp or dulse or something like that, I would suggest you add a little bit of that into this, not too much because it can get really salty and really like fishy really fast, but it's a good addition at the beginning of your cooking. I'm adding those vegetables in there. Now I'm gonna give that a little stir. It looks good already, I think. I just added some cabbage, chopped up some cabbage, put that in there. Added some red onion, and I'm adding the red potatoes. Adding the green beans now. This looks really good. I'm adding some lime juice, half of a lime. We're gonna add a whole lime in the whole soup, but right now we're just adding half the lime, and we're seasoning it up with all the seasonings I showed you earlier. Also, towards the end, I will add in some Worcestershire sauce. Hopefully I said that right. Just because it really kicks up the flavor. So I'm adding in all the seasonings and making a mess on the stove per usual. That's what happens when you cook. And I'm giving this a nice toss around just to make sure that the seasonings are evenly dispersed, you know, amongst all the vegetables. I'm adding some extra olive oil, and I know it looks like I'm using a lot of olive oil, but I'm really not. These are a lot of vegetables and the oil gets ate up pretty quickly. This is not a really oily soup. It also may look like I'm adding a lot of seasonings, but I'm not. Again, I'm using water as the base, not stock or broth. So I'm seasoning the vegetables first, adding in the water, and then seasoning the water. I promise you this was not salty at all. Once it was done and I ate the vegetables, it was perfectly seasoned. Make sure to taste as you go so that you can adjust, you know, to your liking. But this is what I do and it works for me, and it came out really good. Stirring it around, and now I'm turning the heat up and bringing it to a boil. There's the Worcestershire sauce, and now it's about to come up to a boil. You can kind of see it like trying to start. Work that sauce in, and there we go. She's starting to boil. So I'm mixing her up some more. Rightfully so. Make sure I have enough water. Make sure everything looks good. And then I'm going to turn the stove down so that the soup can simmer. And as you can see on the clock, it's about 11:31 a.m. I did make this pretty early. I'm covering this and letting it simmer and letting it do its thing. When I come back, as you can see, it's about 1:34. So that's about 2 hours. If you want your vegetables a little more crisp and vibrant, I would say turn the stove off 30 minutes before, so just do like an hour and a half on a low simmer. But if you like this texture, the vegetables are still crunchy, they're not mushy at all, then 2 hours is good. Now I'm just about to plate up the soup. I am having my soup with some quinoa that I made, and y'all are gonna see the texture of the quinoa. If y'all want my quinoa recipe, how I make the perfect quinoa, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm just cutting up some lime. I also added the other half of the lime to the water earlier, if I forgot to mention. But yeah, I'm cutting up some lime, and I'm about to slice up some avocado. If I can figure out how I want to cut this. And I'm just peeling it. I always forget that you can peel an avocado. I always just cut it in the peel. But peeling it is pretty convenient too. I just didn't want to mess up like how pretty it looked. But yeah, I successfully peeled the avocado. Now I'm about to slice that up. And here I am trying to do this aesthetic thing with the slices, but it just wasn't really giving. And here is my quinoa. So good. It's like perfectly cooked. It's creamy. It's not grainy at all. I love it. And so I'm going to put that down first. And now I'm about to put the soup on top of that. And I'm putting that soup on top, and look at all those vegetables. Y'all, the house literally smelled so good. Like, oh my gosh, it was so good. So now I'm adding a bit more broth because I want it kind of like, you know, soupy, even though we have quinoa in there. And look how pretty that looks without anything to top it off. So now I'm plating the avocado and the lime. I also did add some parsley at the end when I was done cooking the soup, but you can't really see that here. But I just wanted to, you know, let y'all know I added that herb in there. And right here, I'm just trying to get some like texture shots for y'all. I'm really admiring my work. I love how everything looks. I love how everything smells, and I love how everything tastes. You will see my reaction in a little bit. My vegetable soups, all of my soups kind of turn out the same way, like similarly, but they're always a little different. So here I am showing you my masterpiece, adding the lime juice, and I'm gonna try it for y'all. And I'm actually really hungry at this point, so this is really good. Okay, you can see my genuine reaction. I'm not hyping this up because this is my recipe. I'm doing a little happy dance. Me and baby are happy because I am currently pregnant. So I literally was craving this for like 3 days, y'all. Maybe longer. So when I took that first bite, I was literally like in heaven. I was happy. Baby was happy. I hope y'all liked the video. And make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Big sun coming.